Okay, welcome everyone to the afternoon session for day 15 of the Blueprint for Peace for Humanity, production of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. It is Tuesday, July 25th, 2017. And once again, we're gathered as we were earlier today. And we were speaking about various things such as what do you say to the mirror in the morning, and other such exercises in bringing forth our some aspects of our why we're here and of our essential selves. Caroline, are you ready to lead us further down the path this afternoon?
Yes, of course, Dirk. Welcome everybody back to the second part of today. It's teaching, presentation, sharing, embracing new knowledge, how we finally have managed and discovered in a very simple way how we can fill up our own cup, how we can fill up our own soul with love and joy and care, how we can make it to come bright and shine. So the first step humanity is embracing is to elevate their own souls, because when you shine like a light, you can shed the light on others. It's like an igniting point for other souls to find a path in maybe an easier way, because you can pay it forward to them by showing the path to become the first light yourself. When you're full of joy, it goes traveling very fast. It's like news. But this time it's a pleasant news. It's a joyful news. Everybody can ease their thirst on love and care and feel so full that they are loved and cared too. That's where we are going to create the 20% we're short of, by generating ourselves to become the fueling station for our own soul and the fueling station for so many other souls. Because as I was trying to explain in more depth, the majority always brings the balance in the scale. The more weight, the bigger, the more volume, the more light. Everybody knows the scale. You put it in there, you will see how the balance will change. And this is exactly what we have achieved in the last few weeks. We are changing the balance through the majority of wishing, confirming, creating, because we all have our own vision of the new world, how we want to walk into it as a full soul, as a complete soul. We are not leaving parts behind this time. We are not going halfway neither. We are walking as a complete individual with our own wish, with our own creation, on our new path to create a new world peace. Because we are all sharing this world. Tonight we are going to go into a meeting with the members of the councils to complete our gratitude to Mother Earth letter. We will start showing our gratitude and our love to the soul, which is so generous to all of us. In every single word you can mention the food, the air, the environment, it is absolutely in full abundance. She's a living creature. So we have to adjust to how she is exploring her life on her soul path. And she's moving too, just the same way as we are moving, as I tried to explain this morning. She's guiding us our souls through our physicality to move as well, because she moves her own physicality. Maybe you can come to understand that when it really doesn't want to move, she does the same thing through her physicality. She shakes, she rumbles, she makes us to listen. Now, this is something maybe a few people or a lot of people, I don't know, will come to understand why Mother Earth is shaking. If you understood this morning what an impact your soul goes and gives to your physical body, and it shakes it if you don't want to go to the path you're supposed to walk, if you're deaf, if you can't, if you're not alert. Let's say you break a leg or you go into an accident, it makes your body to hold, to stop, to a full stop, to reposition yourself, to become a thinker, an analyzer, and then change your path, because a lot of people, if they have gone through such a change, they can come and give their testimonies beyond, because they are there now. Stand still. Mother Earth is also a soul, and she carries a physical body. Now, she's trying to maneuver her children, which are born on this planet. You emerged here. Life was created here through the conditions. So she carries her responsibility for her children. Now, if she shakes and she rumbles, she does exactly the same thing as your soul is achieving through your physical body. She is achieving the same to wake you all up. Now, that puts you as humanity in a different position, how to balance Mother Earth. How, as a humanity, as one soul, because we are children, we are light, we are connected through her, how we can bring our mother to a peaceful state. That we as children don't need to go through this shaking of our own mama, because nobody stood ever still, that we are making her to shake for us to stop. It's time for us to connect to every single part, every single connection, what we know when we have come to understand. Why are we ignoring so much if in the last few weeks so much has been opened up? Now, we have to start making it as visible as possible. When we guide ourselves, we fill up our cups. What is the pleasure of our soul to do so? To become a light shining so bright. We will reach Mother Planet too and show her that we are following the path of the soul. As much as we are carrying a soul, she is an entity as well. She created life. She provided us with everything. Now, if we have understood through the last few days what we have walked through of understanding, can you imagine how peaceful this whole planet can come in weather conditions, in balance, in every single level, that people do not need to be shaken to become to reality of standing still? So the faster we make the cup full of life, and we make sure it spills over, because this is a spell which nobody will be bothered to clean it up. They will say, can you share more, please? In a full abundance. This planet will find that shortage which has always been present, it will find that balance to shine like a blue light. Maybe now you understand that then for the first time the earth, as it already gives a blue shine of love, which is the expression of love, will radiate right across through all the universe and the galaxies in the true expression of love. That's why I asked everyone to look in the mirror tomorrow morning again, every day. And every time you go to the toilet or the bathroom, or you pass a mirror, or you pass a window of a shop, say hello to yourself. You will create a smile which is so big, and it will be so easy because there's so many windows of reflection around you that then maybe for the first time, when you have learned to do it for yourself, you might start looking at somebody else and say, you know, you're beautiful. To put the expression to a world stranger you never talked to, you never seen before in your life, and actually share this abundance of joy to create that smile on his face. Maybe we can even share it with our children, that they become the creators of smiles, the creators of abundance. That it's okay to say, you're beautiful, I love you, or you're cheeky, or I love your eyes, or find something which is so beautiful that you can express it, but from the true point of your soul. That there is no hesitation in when you say the confirmation to the other or to yourself, that it is reality that you are existing as a beautiful something, whatever that means for you. To embrace, as Rick was trying to explain this morning, the features which have appeared in your face because of aging, because of the path you walked. To say thank you for being there, because otherwise I would have never reached the level where I am now, to shine like a light with my experience, to make sure your cup is full of love and care, because through my path I can show your path. And I can come to make to you to understand your path you're walking, to remove so many understood walks of paths. Because once you understand, you can move them off the table. They go somewhere with a lot of forgiveness and a lot of acceptance, but with a lot of respect. Because whoever created those scars, in so many ways you created them for yourself because you couldn't walk the path the right way as a full cup of soul. But now we know how to walk it. Now we even know how to embrace more than only ourselves. We have learned to embrace all the others. We have learned to embrace our own mothers, fathers, in gratitude, and all the ones which were before us. And because the light is shining on us today with the knowledge, for the first time, we can even express and change the fields of our own Mother Earth. The storms and the exceptional weather conditions will balance. Because as much as you want peace, she wants peace for her children as well. And we are the creators. But Mother Earth needs to receive from us, her children, to be able to also to create the peaceful Earth. Because you all know When you're in a family with children and you have opposition, it's very hard to keep the peace within your own house when you have one or more disturbing children or people in the house. And you have to be always on your guard, you have to always pay attention. Now, Mother Earth has 10 billion of them. She never knows where and how they're going to maneuver, or they're up to something else. And when it goes too far, she shakes, or she shows it in a different expression. Now we are in the blueprint of the peace. Now we're going to create a path to unify not only as humanity and not only on the soul level of human, but with everything which is around us, which shares this beautiful life on this planet, but also to connect with the origin where we came from. We sprouted out. So I do go for the majority. And I want to create more majority. And every day, more and more people are coming in. Some of you don't even know how you ended up here, or how was it possible that I could even be in this teaching today, or this morning, or tomorrow. But you will appear because your soul is guiding you to be there to create the right intent, to create the right wish for the others to elevate. So we are becoming slowly, slowly more synchronized. That one connects into the other, that we become one field of wish. And we're all doing it because we're all part of it. So please come and share more of your wishes. And Dr. Guata wanted to say something or started the topic yesterday, but we wanted to restart it this morning, but somehow we diverted our path as usual. So Dr. Guata, if you're present, please come and share what you wanted to share with all of us.
Thank you very much, Caroline. What I had was a question for Stefania, and the question was how to make plasma balls in our hands using our energies, and how long it takes, and how do we know when it's there, when it's already made. Thank you very much. I hope she's still here, but you said we could also help answer that.
Yes, if Stefania is not present, I am more than welcome to support you. This is something I learned quite a few years ago. And this was one of the first things I was actually exercising. And it is so simple. You know, you need a blue sky, preferably. If you want to visualize it, you have a blue sky, you use it as a background. When you open your two hands towards each other, but you don't touch the tips of the finger, you use like a gazing way of looking past your fingers. You know, like you're looking at distance, not focused on your hands and fingertips. They will go slightly blurry, but you will still see the surroundings of each finger. When you use the staring method, then you will start seeing like a white or a bluish line forming on the tips of your fingers. This is your energy field, which is becoming visible. This is your plasma field, which becomes totally visible the better you exercise, the more you exercise in the staring without looking at your hands. It will emerge. And when you keep your fingers about 1 or 2 centimeters away from each other, or even closer, depending on how you put your position of your eye and your sight, you will be able to play with the fields because you can make them to interact with one or another, and you can even increase your fields. So you can pull your hands even more away from each other, and you will see that the fields, with your intent, they will expand. It's usually a whitish or a bluish glow. When you exercise this quite a few times, you will be able to position one hand and just straight away the fields will be there and will be visible for you. The next step is to go a little bit further and position a plant maybe a few meters away, depending on how you can gaze, because you need to use the gazing, not direct looking. Then you will see the white field appearing on top around the plant too. And then as you focus or you bring the plant closer or more away from you, the fields increase again. This is the energy field of the plant. Then you can even go further and go a step higher and look at the tops of the trees. And then you will see that the tops of the trees become white. Sometimes you still can recognize the blue, but it's more white because of the distance of your view. That is your confirmation of the energy field of what you're making your gaze at. Other people have developed this way of looking to see the aura fields, which are your aura fields of the person. When we are, let's say, last time in Rome and the meeting before and Dubai, I noticed that when I sit from a distance, even you, Dr. Guata, when you went onto the podium, I was sitting slightly off the stage on the left, on your left side. Pardon. I see you talk from your soul. I see your energy field growing. That way, the shape and the color of the field is first white, and then suddenly it can go in slightly gold. The more you are explaining and expressing yourself with your love and your care and your passion, which is the expression through the physical, but it's actually your soul talking, the more your field expands. So I know who stands behind that microphone is really talking from his soul point. Because people which are just reading a text for the sake of reading and they are not connected to what they're bringing, I don't see nothing emerging. I even had a huge shock in Trani with the opening of the Keshe Foundation that moment, that time, that the guy who came from the university, he had a black aura. And it was shocking for me. How can that be? And then at the same time, I received kind of information that he was badly sick. But it had nothing to do with the aura. The aura was actually expressing, a person without love and care and light in him. That's why the contours were black. You can do this exercise just before sunset or early in the morning when the sun rises. Try to find the right tint of blue, because then it reflects better the fields which you are emerging. The next stage from going from that is when you now have seen your fields. Visually, you have seen your fields from your own tips of your fingers. When you bring your two hands towards each other, like you're going to hold a cup of water or a cup of tea, you slightly bend them When you bring them together, you feel like a warmth. This is not your body temperature. This is the field, because you're going towards the two palms of your hand. You are increasing the field of the energy because it's like getting trapped. So when you feel the warmth, you are on the right track. Now, it is a matter of you being in the moment you're doing, knowing what you're doing, be very calm and very confident. That way you can start working with the intensity of feeling that the energy fields will give you the feedback through the warmth. You can make it smaller and more dense, and then you can slowly start opening your hands and move them away from each other, and try to see how far you can reach with your energy field through the temperature you can sustain. The next stage is when you're ready, your energy can be compact because you can direct your energy very slowly through meditation, through concentration, through quietness, through being full as a cup, because you elevated your soul to be so full with love and care. You should achieve the first light very gentle. It might be very minute, but it will grow. You cannot let your guard to go down of any hesitation. You have to be 100% sure that this is you and you are manifesting light between your hands. That light is what you are as a creator. So, as you're going step by step, I'm telling you, the first fields around your hand, you can achieve it within the first time you do it. It is not difficult. You just need to find the focal point of your eyes. Emerging of the light ball, creating the light ball between your hands, depends on how much is your cup of your soul full to let it to flow over to create another cup of light. And then you can start working more and more with it, and you can increase it. People which have received training, as Sajan used to bring into the teaching, this was in my first teaching, I think it was 43. He already had his balls of light. And then Mr. Keshe guided him how to position the balls of light, not to lose them, but to make sure that he always could go back to what he created initially as a light. And he said, you can place them in front of a mirror, but that mirror needs to have the old silver backing of silver, because a lot of mirrors are coated with a different material. You have to find an old mirror which still has the silver coating on the back. You can produce your light and leave it in a station, and you can call up on it, because now you can position it and you know exactly where to go and get it. But then listen to your soul. What else you can achieve with this ball of energy and light? Because you literally can create your own spaceship as a light. You become the light. You already created the first lights. Mr. Keshe most probably will open more doors on that field if you ask him, because these are your starter points for your own vessel. You don't need no tools. You don't need no mechanism. You don't need no plasma, because you create your own vessel. So if we step back and we analyze, you go through the same steps. You first fill up your own cup. To make sure you get a confirmation, you will see the fields on your hands because it's the most simple step to do. From then on, how you're building it up, be aware you will become a motion yourself because you know how to fill your cup up, and then you will be able to create your light. And that light then can serve so many other souls when you're knowing the position, how to position the souls, the lights you have created from your intent with your energy to become your spaceship, and how to embrace so many others. Was this understandable, Dr. Guata?
Yes, thank you very much. I will have to listen to that recording over and over again and then practice. And once I see the light, I will definitely let you know. Thank you very much indeed.
You're more than welcome. If is one of the next teachings, if I can get my hands on a screen or a presentation board that we work with a camera, but in so many ways it's already been explained in the first two teachings in Disenzano. When I first taught, I brought this subject up because it was about the energy fields. There were a lot of components missing that time, but that was the first steps for man to come to understand you are the light. You can generate the light, but maybe because with what I connected it with tonight, you might find your path to be your light and to expand your light and even become the vessel for so many other souls. I
Thank you
bless
very
you
much
all.
indeed.
I bless you all who reached the point of becoming a full cup of life. Flint knows the links and Stanley knows the links of those first teachings. So they can be reproduced or put in the link somewhere for people to go back. Students can get access to the second one. The first one was in public. So you can see the two videos and the extra information which Mr. Keshe was sharing, and the knowledge seekers which came out of the woodwork, as we say, popped up out of nowhere, sharing and asking questions. But maybe now, from then to now, which is about 2 years, 3 years difference, we might make the connections the right way with what I just explained to you. You are already emotions if you can make this creation of this ball of light. You create your own spaceship. You do nothing, no tools, just the understanding to fill up your first cup yourself. Any questions? Hello.
Yeah, we're here.
Anybody from the knowledge seekers? Any questions about the topic, how to generate your own spaceship, how to create your own light, how to manifest it? Then that moment, I was already trying to show that every single person is already carrying it inside him by giving you examples how you save children out of nowhere even when you're asleep. That you're so kind, all of you inside. Now it's just a matter of generating that shortage, which is actually you who are short, and you can rebalance yourself so fast, so easy. So there should be no more problem for nobody to bring balance on this planet so fast. If we, from tomorrow morning, all of us start generating to make our cup full and keep it full. You are the walking cup of life. We give, as Mr. Keshe said, we brought you the tools to balance it easier, to support the imbalance, to come to understand, to elevate. Through the Ganses, we are releasing so much souls because they are creations. We have released so many supporting souls. In one Gans cup, you have no idea. There are more souls in there than in a whole galaxy to come to support humanity. And I'm glad Jalal brought it back. For them, that they can carry their work, that they can support so many others, to reach them too, through the process of you giving, with your intent to carry them to the rivers, to touch the fish, to touch every living thing on this planet, and especially Mother Earth, because she is recharging too. Because for the first time, instead of blood spelling, we are spelling her and giving her energy through the Gans waters. She is receiving so much energy. She is recharging as we are recharging. That's why it was so important when I start advising you, please spray, pour them in the rivers, put them in the fountains, let people be showered with these millions and trillions of little suns you created with the right intent. Now you understand how you have become all messengers of peace already. For more than just these last few weeks, we are working on it. Now we are expanding to feed the process to understand fully. We are even reaching Mama Earth. And she deserves it. To start breathing again. To start feeling good. They're giving her Zingans, we're giving her CO2, we're giving her CO, we're giving her CH3. Wherever she needed, you poured somewhere, somehow, some Gans. You will very slowly see the effect of it. Any other question about?
Good morning, Carolina. This is Azar.
Good morning. Hi, good afternoon, Azar.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I have a question for you. You talk about the magnetic field of us, or aura, I call it. Is it always blue? Because I know mine is blue. I've seen it very clearly, and then my daughter's is pink. So I just wondered, is it only blue?
No. It usually shows first like white, bluish. When I look at Mehran, it's gold. When he stands in a certain, or I pay attention to it, put it this way. When I observe Mr. Keshe, at the beginning I used to see white, a very white glow. And then it started changing during the process of changing. It's getting more and more intense in goldish.
Yeah, I've seen Mr. Keshe's aura is pure, like a gold, like a bar of gold. I've seen it when I was in Rome.
Yes.
He's very clearly. And actually, my experience, the reason I saw mine, and actually it was so magnificent, because I was under the influence of ayahuasca, and it wasn't finished yet when I went to my room. So in the middle of night, and in a jungle, everything is dark. There's no electricity. When I went, got up, go to the bathroom, and I had a a candle, I just light up the candle. Oh, I actually had a flashlight. When we wake up in the middle of night, I had the flashlight. The candle was already out. And when I turned on the candle, suddenly I started walking, and from my body, this beautiful blue, like a velvet blue, was as of I was lifting my leg, the blue would go to the ceiling, come down, and then I went to the mirror. The mirror was, I was so it was so magnificent. I was standing there, and I just moved my hand, and the picture in the bathroom. I moved my hand, the picture become like a vivid blue, and I was just having so much fun with it. It was so magnificent. And then at the same time, when I was walking outside, I went outside, and as my aura would move, the trees and everything else, extension would come and mix with mine. Then I was moving away from, say, I was moving from one tree, the aura of a tree comes out of my aura, and the other trees goes in. As if like things comes to your body, go out of your body, comes to your body. It was absolutely eye-opening for me to see when we walk, like a chair or a pillow, anything has an extension, and it gets involved with your extension. When you move away, it just moves away. And then the funniest thing is, as you move away, those extensions that you created, say, I met you, and I had a connection with your extension. That connection, just like a rubber band, get extended. It never breaks. That was the craziest thing I noticed. Like, no matter how far you go, your extension, like a rubber band, just extend. It never breaks. Unless you want to break it, then you have to wish it, but it never breaks. And that's something I just want to share.
Thank you, Azar, for sharing. You are a constant field. The only difference which you do, how can I say? You give it the extra layer of energy to become visible. And I go back to Marli, when at the beginning of the Gans, she's a very joyful soul, and she's a very special soul. And the way she came to share her she even took pictures, she took short videos. She says, my Ganses are lights, they're little lights flying around in the ball. And that time, now I can express, because she created so much love and care with these Ganses that they became the little suns in that little glass. And they were reflecting to her, and they were communicating with her. As I said before, Dr. Klaus brought it very clear. Even a health system which is for the purpose to serve will move owner if it can't serve the purpose for what it was created for. So if you realize for what purpose you have been created, and that's why I bring you back to the position to analyze your parents, your great grandparents, and the path of walk of life that has brought you to the point where you're now, and you're connected as a knowledge seeker to the Keshe Foundation. I think the understanding level should increase very fast, because you're within our fields, and we are elevating. One another is continuously there to fill up somebody else's cup, until they reach the maturity that they finally can come with a full cup themselves to the foundation and let it run over, for it to share so freely that everybody can get touched with. And some topics bring this kind of feeling of so calm and such content feeling. When we close a meeting, and this has happened, and this has passed over, it has happened quite a few times in the last days, I noticed, that there is such a satisfaction when we close the doors of the teaching, that everybody is walking away with something which feels so good. And it really goes into your flesh and your bones. And then I see, if I have time to go and have a peek in the chat room, people type and say, my God, I understood, or now I got the picture, or now I know how to carry it, or, you know, they express themselves in these tiny little messages, but it shows the path of understanding. You are a walking light. It's not because it's not visible for you at this moment of time. You are a light. When you fill up your cup of life, which is your soul level, you elevate your soul because you're giving it the right food, you will start beaming like a torch, unbelievable. As Stefania brought it yesterday, you can shine right across the galaxies because your light will be so pure. There is nothing that can blanket. It cannot even be erased. And this is why we are here on this planet, to achieve this. We have gone until today to the worst nightmares. We can even not even imagine that humanity can do this. But now we have received so much that we have come to the maturity of understanding what was in the past, that now we will change the world the way we want it. And we know exactly what we want, and we know exactly how we want it, and we know exactly where to direct it. But before we can take this journey completely, we have to fill up our own cups, that we are not short. We don't leave no traces behind, because we will erase. As I said before, when your soul gets elevated to that level of being a full cup, your physicality will change. You won't break a bone anymore for your soul to guide you to reposition yourself. You won't catch a cold anymore. Viruses, infections, diseases will not touch you anymore. This is what I was trying to explain. You free yourself from all these burdens. But at the same time, the physicality from everything which is around you, you will start indulging them with the same light, the same cup of life, the same elevating process, which are the birds, the animals. Their physicality will change too. But you have to first put that crying wolf within you, so full of love that he stops crying. Wolf. That's the stealing which has been going on inside you. It's time to start feeding our little wolves with the food of love and care. To turn them into puppies with love and care, with a big smile on their face of the confirmation I am. That's when you will see, and it doesn't matter what color you are, that will only show or occur or show the level of frequency you're vibrating in. As I said this morning, we are an instrument of an orchestra of humanity. We have to have different notes to be able to express ourselves. We cannot sing all the same song, because we will become a composition of such a beautiful song. But we have to join the orchestra for them to hear and to listen to our expression of our level. Because it's okay, you have a different voice. It's okay, you have a different color. It doesn't matter what color, what tune you're going to bring into the song of life, because it will unite. And then that beautiful song of life, of expression of souls, then you will see what the creation will bring, your creation. We all know the compositions of Beethoven and Mozart. and how many instruments are only there. Now we have 10 billion instruments to play. Make sure we can hear all of them, to come to joy and to make that one symphony of life an expression of full joy. They will hear us, they will see us, and they're there to support, to get us on that path. But you need to do the first step. So put a smile on your face first thing in the morning and try to hold on every image you pass to reproduce that smile, that you keep your cup full till it becomes a habit to be a full cup. And then you will become plenty. And then we will start hearing your tune. And then the tunes and each individual tune into one big concert of life, of beauty. It will be heard because we are already hearing the first souls singing. We are on a beautiful journey. Anyone else to come forward with questions or sharing?
Carolina, you mentioned meditation. Is meditation important in this process?
No, darling. It's to be so bored that you have to listen to yourself. To be quiet with your own. Try to block those thoughts which keeps on trying to disturb your monkey brain, as I call it. Have I closed the back door? Have I forgotten to switch off the milk? Have I done this? Have I done, oh, I have to do this. I have to do the shopping. I cannot forget to go and get the report of this or that. Did I put fuel in my tank? These are the rumble bumble thoughts. You try to keep that brain quiet. That's meditation. To come to the point with the silence with yourself. Then you can hear your soul. Then you can hear your own voice. To become quiet before you can start singing your soul of your song. Quiet. Can you imagine for it to be totally quiet within yourself and shut all the doors outside, that there's no thought penetrating to disturb you? Azar, you try with a clock and you put it on 5 minutes and put a little note with the pen next to you and see how many times your mind has disturbed you. But slowly you will be able to stop.
Carolina, because I think like for me, I got to a point that I don't have any thought anymore, because it's just like my eyes, the window that the observant of, when I open my eyes in the morning, I'm just the observant of on whatever is on my path. But I think for the people who are beginner in this knowledge and they have a chattering mind, it's good for them to meditate. Although I meditate at the same time, sometimes I do it with open eyes. But I think for people who are beginners, is a tool to start with that, and then once they get their mind to the point that they quiet, then maybe it's not necessary. Whatever works for them, I guess.
Exactly. You got to find the quietness. It doesn't matter how you achieve it. The point is, I brought it a few days ago back. I said, but I can't find it. Otherwise, I would have shared it with all of you. He said, from the day you're born, you hear the voice of your parents. You hear the voice of your brothers and sisters, the dog, the birds. You go to school, you hear the voice of the teacher. Then you hear the voice of your schoolmates. Then your friends, then the disco, then your work, then your employees, then maybe your boss. When you go shopping, then your partner, then your children. Where did you find and stood still ever in your life to hear your own voice? That is where it comes down to. Maybe that will understand or make it more understandable what it means to listen to your voice. You never heard it before because everything is always chattering and talking back to you. And you are reflecting in your thoughts. What is your daily pattern of your work and the children? But where is the time that you just simply are you? And this is making that room and that space. People have started calling it meditation. But in so many ways, it's just going quiet to be able to listen to yourself, to hear your own voice. So no matter how you achieve it, that's the point which is coming the most important one. The pivot point to be able to hear who you are, to find the real voice which is you, not a reflection of whatever has happened in your habitat around you. And that is exactly what people don't get. They don't get the room to find the quiet, the peace, the tranquility, because they keep them so busy. The work, 3 shifts in a day, children around you, you name it. You are kept very busy, never to stand still who you are. You simply don't get the opportunity unless you escape, you make the room to get to that state. But simply find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes a day when you know the house will be totally quiet, there will be no voices, no disturbance, and try to listen to your own voice. And that's where it started. But not to discourage you that it's difficult, no. I showed you the path with your hands with the right blue background. You will see your own fields. And that's where the joy starts, because you say, I can do it. Because it's beautiful. I sometimes just sit and I just wonder with my eyes, and I can see the fields emerging around the treetops, around the plants, around people. I say, my God, this is beautiful. That's why and how I can detect when people stand in front and they talk. They can't hide, because to me they become a light when they speak from their soul. There is no hiding. And this is exactly what Mr. Keshe said. When you become a universal council and you take that responsibility to step forward as a soul, you got to radiate in that shine, because that is the shine how you're going to reach the others. That's when your cup is full at that moment to share with so many others. That's when you become a bright light. And that should not be difficult if we analyze the work of Mr. Keshe, that he has reached the golden light, because he's reaching so many. And I think everyone can confirm the knowledge they have received in their own path. This is the shedding of the light. This is the meaning of bright shining like a light. That's the correct explanation that I can give in my way of what I have seen. And I saw it in Dubai, I saw it in Rome. Every single one who comes forward, even in the private meetings, when the man, the physicality stands up, I see the light emerging if the soul talks the right path. If it's just the physicality talking, I can distinguish it myself too. Because in Rome, out of nowhere, I start making notes, and I thought, why am I writing these notes? And I start flicking light, no light, light, no light. But it was more to me a confirmation, because I never shared this information with nobody. Because I was learning how to see the light, as Mr. Keshe was trying to achieve for the Universal Council members to stand as a light. Because that's the point when you become the giver, the true giver. Because you embrace the whole, whoever is present at that moment. That's what I learned from it. I don't make it my job to go and analyze people, not even in my daily life, no. But when I focus, I can see, yeah. But it's not up to me to judge. It just emerged. Because somewhere I had to understand what it meant to shine like a light. When you're standing there in your physicality, it means it cannot be hidden. So the more and more people which come to understand, they will see when they have a true light in front of them. That's the meaning. Some will sense it, some will see it. I have the vision. Some other people will know before it even starts. It's a confirmation information you get. And this is what you're feeling when the teachings go certain ways of emotion. This is where you start sensing. Now we're showing you the path how to visualize it, to be able to create your own spaceship from within you. Because you all are equal. It's just a matter how we're going to find to the same platform. As I said, we're all different instruments with a different tune. We need to tune into each other to make it beautiful. And then we will elevate Mother Earth as well. How we get there is of no importance. It's the intent you want to get there. You will get there. You are already there because you're already here, present. Any more questions, please?
Carolina, it's interesting you say that seeing or hearing, because for a long time I have this ability. I can see and feel people's intention, and but now it's good because I trust it more because I learned about this technology, which is very good actually. It just gave me so much confidence. So I kind of it just like it's great because then you walk to somebody and you can see it in their face, and I feel like I can read people's mind, which is so cool, you know. And then you get out of trouble. That's the craziest thing about it. You just stay in peace.
You know, Azar, the funny thing is that people are fooling themselves because they are in the physicality. They think they are hidden. They can hide. That's the stealing part. They think they can deceive because you can't so-called see. But that is so untrue. Because there are a lot of souls who can see, who can sense, who can feel, who can smell, and who are aware before. But because the path of destruction has been there for so long that people don't trust their instinct anymore, this is coming back. This is the synchronization of the truth. There will be nothing hidden anymore. You will see right in front of you. There will be no hiding. This is the beauty which is coming with this whole knowledge, that the physicality will not be able to cover up. There will be no more covering up. Because the ones which, how can I say, you will be able to distinguish the ones which are in the stage of developing the lights. Because you will be seeing it, you will visibly be seeing it, because I'm teaching you in a very simple way how you can achieve it. And I'm not the only one who's been teaching this. There's so many worldwide, but they have never dared to come out because it's always been in a protected dome that whatever. Come out of the woodwork, show people how to meditate, show people how to find the path to become a light, to shine like a bright light. There's nothing to be afraid of. You don't lose nothing, you only gain because you become a sun. You will start shining. The stealing comes from the hidden. where there is darkness and there's not enough light. But the physicality will adjust and change because of the elevation of the soul. You all will become lights in your own frequency, with your own colors, with your own beauty. And this is where the transparency will come. And this is where the easiness among mankind will be created as well, that you will know what you have in front of you. Now it was all guesswork because we simply didn't know. Now we start knowing. And now we can help them to show their true color the way they should be. Open, honest, straightforward, and transparent. Beautiful souls.
Thank you, Carolina. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's Mehran. You stop me when I talk too much.
Okay, we will.
Well, yeah, I had to do homework. I did it. Thank you. I feel better. Yes.
There comes.
Yes. Yes. And okay. I just thank you very much. It's so. I mean, like you open up all these mysterious works of yours for us, and I thought about that energy. Is it the word activate your energy they use?
Yes, you can name it that way. Activate your energy. Yes.
Because I think in Qigong they say activate the Qi. It's already there, but with our intention, it gets activated.
Yeah, it's like confirming you exist. Come out of the woodwork.
Yes, and there is exercise in New Year in March. We get clothes. You can get clothes everywhere when there is a tree, healthy tree, not which is in good health. And you can again put the same way as you get the cup, you open it around or a little close to the throne of the tree. And if it's a spring and it's a good, healthy, nice tree, you feel the energy. And then they visualize taking it from the hand, going to the back and coming out of the feet. And it's good for the health. And I think some people have difficulty to visualize that at first when they are very much Cartesian, like mathematicians or physicians, they are in a cadre, in a way of very scientific thinking. They cannot imagine energy in the hand and taking it up and bring it into body, and they really have problem for imagining. But I think everybody with exercise can get to it. I think the best are the artists or comedians. They can very easily visualize and use this energy. It's just a company. Like when I go, everywhere I go, I get close to the trees or flowers. I walk near them. I go out early in the morning. Sometimes I walk near or over them, and it really gets, I really feel their energy. It's just, sometimes I go in the street, I touch them. I touch them and I feel this contra communication. And sometimes yeah, that's really then becomes a daily habit. People think that I'm crazy, so now I get energy. I bring it back to my body. I feel good. Sometimes when the air is good or the environment is nice. And I had a question, if you don't mind. Um, can I? I don't know why. Maybe about 10 years ago or less, I attract the babies around 1 year and a half, 2 year, one something like that. In this age or 2 years, I attract them. Like when they see me, they stop. They look at me. If they are crying, they stop. I can, when they cry, or they see me, or I say some things like adults, I thought, why is this beautiful girl crying or what? And they get calm. And sometimes parents get jealous that I communicate and get the baby so calm when they cannot. And I tell them in advance, don't worry. I always have this effect on babies this age. And that's why ever since years, I'm very good in families without babies. Because of the baby, we have good relationship. Um, and even in the train, the first time I noticed the baby just looks at me. He comes back and looks at me, and the father puts him other way. And it's all they go back, look at me. They say bye bye. I can talk to them. I can because I talk to them like adults, like uh, individuals to individual, and they get quiet. And it was very astonishing to me, and
Not,
because I'm not that much baby lover. If you, I
not,
love them,
not
not
really.
this. I
It
mean,
is,
yes, but not in
it,
this age.
it is a process which Mr. Keshe once explained to me that is as much as they come into your field, they need your field as much as they have an excess of energy, and you are, because of your age, you are in a different state of energy. So the child has so much, and it releases for the what it will receive back from you, and what it is receiving back from you is willing to send you some of his energy towards you. So if you remember, that's why I brought the communication of the hands from Mr. Keshe. You remember he's showing the fingers in certain positions, and he says in each text is next to the picture, the way he positions his hands, I'm willing to share, I'm I have nothing to give. Those
Yes,
this is the language of the universe. This is also the language of your soul. So with you paying notice to this, and maybe a lot of knowledge seekers will start paying attention to it. If you're a calm, how can I say? Let's say you know who you are, you know how you function. Because the funny thing is, you said, I am not very well into children. But the children recognize the field of the aura and the field of your soul, because they're usually at that age, they see, as Mr. Keshe brought it forward, how do babies communicate with each other. They have a full spoken language in communication without even saying a word. Now,
yes,
the
yes.
child is the child is interacting with your field because it will receive that extra gentleness which confirms to it that it exists. So in return, It gives you and you give to it. So it is an exchange. If you learn the sign language of the hands, which Mr. Keshe has brought forward, it should clear up a lot. Now, if you can start recognizing these interactions between adults and children, you will understand the play and the exchange of the fields. I'm willing to give. I'm prepared to share.
Right.
It's all
I mean, I'm the same with everybody. I'm the same with children who are older. Also, I'm like you. I never tolerate somebody punishing the child or crying over a child. I always say something. But I'm interested in all children, especially if they are cute, but not this age especially, because after that, seems like they lose it after
no,
1 year and a half, 2 years.
no, you don't lose. You never lose
No,
this communication.
oh, they lose this sensibility towards me. Like when they
No,
are 3 years, it has to go with communication, verbal communication, that they look at me. But before
no,
that,
no, you're wrong. It never changes. Their
ah,
position, how they do it, changes. If
mm,
you are aware of this process, and now you increase the level of the age of the children you want to reach, you will reach them in the same way as you can reach a 2-year-old. It's you who has put the limit on it.
no, I have no problem with them. But it's the
No, no.
children come towards me at this age. They
Yes.
look at me when the parents take them away. They look and they want to stay, and that seems to be strange at first. But I think you're right. They see something nice in me. Maybe I'm kind. I'm sincere. Maybe the aura. Yeah, you are right. But I mean, that's the answer. They see the aura maybe in this age.
If we would all stay children in the field of the physicality state of matter as a child, in that level, we would be all non-verbally communicating with one another. We would all be visibly exposed towards each other. There is no war, there is no, wall, there are no brickworks built up of defense and attack and whatever you create in your life path. Because of the purity of the child state in that level of the physicality, you would be all walking lights. And this is exactly what they see. You are a light to them. You have
Yeah,
lost
because
them, but they
they are,
haven't.
yeah, it's like they see a cloud or something. They're walking, they stay there. If they look at me, even they're talking, they stop. They're crying, they stop and they look at me. So I thought it's like something strange or something, which is adult.
Why don't you say and confirm to yourself, I must have a beautiful aura. I must have a beautiful energy field that they pick up on it.
Yeah, but doesn't change anything in physicality.
No,
Even if I tell myself, doesn't change.
You confirm to yourself that you are so beautiful, that you are getting noticed by a 2-year-old, that it stopped in his path of walking and it noticed you. It recognized your fields. So be proud of it, my darling.
No, I'm not really proud, but I think I try not to have too much attachments. I'm lucky. But like I have much, I don't have that much So I can wake up at 4 o'clock, do some meditation. I mean, I can do things like that, but if I had too much attachments, I couldn't do that. So I think it's because of
No.
that.
You understood the wrong way. You misunderstood. I said, please confirm your beautiful field, that it has the power to stop a 2-year-old walking in his track of crying and screaming, to stop abruptly, to notice your fields, and to confirm to you how beautiful you are. That has nothing to do with attachments, darling. This is just confirming to yourself how beautiful you are, that a 2-year-old notices you and confirms it.
Yes, maybe. Yeah, probably, but it doesn't make me really proud, because as I think whatever we are, even though we go to the heaven, we still have to come back and help others. I think no, we cannot see
Can I stop you there? Why do you think you have no right to be proud of yourself? Why do you think that you have no right to be proud and to acknowledge how beautiful you are? Where is this coming from? This is stealing from yourself, darling.
Just a matter of habit, maybe. Or maybe people would say you're self-satisfied. Or
so what's wrong with acknowledging exactly what you did this morning in the mirror? You said you're beautiful, and now you say I cannot say. You got to make decisions, darling, all of us, to change the path. I am proud. I am beautiful. I shine like a light that a 2-year-old can notice myself. So I can acknowledge that I'm beautiful. This is where you change your path, darling. To hold on to your energy, not to confirm it one moment and then denying it the other moment, because it doesn't work in my book. You are or you're not. And you just confirm that you are. Why is it so hard for you to accept it for yourself? You are beautiful.
I mean, I work for it. I try to work for it, meditation or whatever, to protect this. But I think surrounding me, people may not be that much satisfied.
Darling, do you care? Because you know something, if you become the light, the first light in your surrounding, they will enjoy your light. They will start switching on their lights because they can recognize your light. That's all that matters. But you have to hold to your light in your trust. That's all. That's the part we are learning. Stop stealing from yourself by denying that how beautiful you are. That's one of the
right.
Say every morning in the mirror, I am beautiful and I'm staying beautiful for the rest of the day. And I am proud that I am beautiful. Because you got the confirmation on your path when you cross children. So you get your confirmation.
Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless all people who work for all these programs and all that. And I wish you sincerely a lot of success.
We don't have any more problems, darling, because I just ignited your light. Make sure it keeps burning and shining.
Oh, don't worry. I protect it. I do what I can.
You don't need to protect it. You need to make it to shine more. That's all. You don't need protection because nobody can penetrate light. It can only stay very bright. So stop protecting, stop fighting, just be the light. That's all we ask. Be the light, be the shining beam, and keep it going. Don't let your torch to go down. Every time you pass a child, you will be reignited. You will watch. Now you will not look at a child who is just passing you like this anymore before. Your path has changed, darling.
And it's funny because when I travel or different races, it answers. It answers for different children the same age in any country.
Now come back next week and confirm your light is still there. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Somebody else has anything to share for us tonight? Or this afternoon or this morning, wherever you are?
Miss Caroline, can you hear me?
Yes, sure. Good evening, welcome. Who are you?
Thank you. This is Ted here on Earth, here in the United States. And I've noticed a similar thing with kitty cats, how they I don't know if they're just staring around at space. I think we've all seen it, but I think that cats really, do they have that same infant kind of, do they see it as light, or what are they really looking at when I come into a room? I notice cats will just stare at me, and other people will walk in the room, and I don't think there's any real super connection except for that they're seeing something that isn't really there, that we don't see or pick up on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the same effect as the children.
Yeah, and is it the same with dogs? Is that what the dogs are looking at too, when they're looking all around you and whatnot?
Yep.
Okay.
I brought it forward, I don't know, a few days ago maybe, that Topoli, or little Malteser, is a very intelligent little thing. You cannot imagine. He talks and he expresses. And we start noticing as he was maturing more, because he's only 3 years old. So he's just past his maturity from a puber into a young adult. He had to come to his full development, if you count the ages of the dogs and the cats, which are different than the man. So when he passed the barrier from juvenile to young boy, which he is now, he started talking very, confirming, expressing, and making sure we took notice of it. And it all started when we were on holiday walking on the beach. He, out of nowhere, he just started going for people that we said, my God, we have trained you this way, boy, you can't do this. He would go for people to shred them to pieces. He never bit anybody, but the way he was going into the attack mode, barking, and really is horrible. You get embarrassed, literally embarrassed. And they even called him a racist dog because he used to go for black people on the beach. And the majority of the black people is not because they're blacks. There's nothing to do in any relation with discrimination or anything. It's just that that group is existing out of black people. And these people are under a monetary system of one elderly lady, and they're presenting sunglasses and whatever, the watches they sell on the beach on a small cushion or something. So, but the funny thing is, those glasses never get sold. You see them handing them and let people look at it, but they're never selling. And we start noticing this because we were there quite 2 or 3 weeks, I think. You start picking up on the patterns. They were drug dealers. So the main lady was sitting in the middle. She was always pretending she was asleep. When she was asleep, they were not moving around. When she was sitting up and awake, they were continuously, engaging with other people. And it was at those people Topoli was going bananas. So we made the first link that he was telling us these people are no good. These fields are not good. Stay away from them. Don't even go close because you already pulled Topoli back. You already distance yourself because of his behavior. So automatically he creates that protection shield for you between them and you. And as we, through the days, were analyzing this pattern, it made clear that further on, when we used to go walking, when they were not present, those people, out of nowhere, in public, 20, 30 meters away from you, he starts barking and howling and shouting the same behavior that we see. My God, what the heck is going wrong with you, Topoli? And then our coins start dropping because he picked up the same scent. And those people would never come close. Even when we are sitting in the restaurant on the table, those vendors, which were not carrying drugs, which were coming with jewelry and, clean stuff, but they were users themselves, he was barking them off. They could never approach our table to sell anything because they were so embarrassed that the dog was barking like a racist dog because they were black. So, yes, sir, animals do know exactly what's going on. They know it before you know. They see it before you know. Even in the airport, when they're passing 50 meters away, he just goes for them. It's amazing. They talk to you. The closer they are with you, the more they communicate with you, the more they will show you a communication path for you to understand what they want.
Yeah, they definitely do. The animals are a really big help for me to learn about my growth and my spirituality and my light. They're really exceptional beings on Earth. I really love the wild ones too, that they have a little less attachment to human because of the non-domestication, and their knowledge when they come around is just so much powerful because just is. I feel like when they come around, they really have the message for you. Or they're really trying to show you what you're doing is correct, because these are animals that stay pretty elusive most of the times. And I've grown up in nature, and to see the change happening right now is really amazing. I want to confirm that I'm present for the doctor and the other gentleman earlier today in the morning teachings wish to protect the children. I really believe in that, and I'm present in support of that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We should not even have domestic animals. It's not all right to bring them up this way. We're going to have to change that platform to set our animals free and to give them their freedom back. Because we have enslaved so many animals for no reason. And it is so unjust to them. Although I adore and I worship my dog. And all the dogs I had before, and so many I took from the street and put them back to their homes or shelters where I knew they were safe. But we have no right. They're individual souls and they are entitled to their freedom as much as we are.
Miss Caroline, when we're dealing with animals like sheep that they rely on us so much, like maybe certain dogs can go back into the wild and cats can make it on their own, but like a sheep, an animal that it needs sheared, and if you don't shear them, they get real bad, like skin disease under their fur and whatnot. And like, how are we going to do this with these domestic animals like that? Because as a farmer, like, I've felt that calling coming already, that the domestic animals is not correct. And like, so I don't know. I didn't know how to do it correct. So I have an Arab friend up the road that really loves sheep. So I gave him my sheep because he really loves them and he's going to eat them. And but is there like another way that we can evolve their DNA to like be able within like a generation or two to not need the man, not need the shearing or the drugs or whatever we give them? Does that make sense?
Yes, as I dropped it quite a few times. I said, when we have reached our level of understanding, our physicality will change. And then, Mr. Keshe has explained quite a few times, we will start dedicating our intent and our sharing of elevating the souls of the animals. So we will set them free. We will create the environment that they elevate to the level as we have evolved, so they can go back to their original state, because their physicality will change too. That they are no longer depending on what we feed them, when we feed them, or they will, out of free will, be beside us. And this is the change you will see, or our children will see this in the future. If that is your wish to start with in the first place, yes, we will. Because I said the bird will not remember to eat a worm to stay alive. And the fox will no longer have to hunt a rabbit to have as his meal. So their physicality will change and evolve too. That's why we will elevate our Mother Earth. So the whole planet will be indulged and will be covered with our fields of elevation. We won't leave nothing beside and nothing will be excluded. So definitely animals, trees, birds, you name it, it's all within the same packet of elevation. Any other questions? And I support your wish. I am present.
Thank you.
They will become independent, don't worry. They will find their roots back slowly, because we will help them to show the path to go back, because we will detach ourselves from this attachment to keep them as under our control, which we had no right in the first place to do so.
Yeah, this is my wish also. I think when you're dealing with farming firsthand, you can really see, you know, it's one thing to have a dog or a cat, and they really love you and appreciate you, and but I can feel it in my heart that you're right about the domestication. It's really just not correct. And then that leads me to go back further to when Mr. Keshe talks about, you know, the vertical people and how, like, really the domestication of those isn't necessarily correct. And in my efforts to make like a greenhouse and aquaponics setup, and though it's very beautiful and though it'll help people have nutrients, like in a certain way, it is very much like a slavery system in that greenhouse. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Even the monoforests, which have emerged everywhere, just to chop the wood, all in the same length, all in the same width, all of the same quality, that they're limiting even the variation of change in nature just to harvest it. Who are we to harvest when we are learning? But this is going to change. So we don't even need to stand still, because I just explained to you how you will generate your own fields. Now I will take you a little bit further. Your spaceship will be your home, will be your environment. And because you have the imprint of you as you are in your and through your RNA and your DNA, you will create a protective home that nobody can penetrate without your permission. It will shield you. It will be a life shield from cold, hot, whatever you need for. You will be the creator of your own dome. You will be the provider of your own fields to balance yourself. This is the journey mankind is taking and is stepping into it. So we don't need to chop trees. We don't need to take the sand. We don't need to take the water to create buildings and whatever we have used, everything to our benefit or to our advantage, whatever you want to need or call it, this will be in the past. Because even those structures will reset. Because mankind, through the learning process, will create its own protection zone, its own, whatever it needs, sufficient enough through his own fields. The feeding, the clothing, the protection, the sleeping, the resting time, whatever you need, you will be able to provide yourself by your own creation. That's how beautiful it will become. But you need to first reach the level of your cup needs to be full, your soul needs to be able to function in those fields for it to start to become a full creator for whatever you want to create. That's the
Thanks, Miss
next.
Caroline. It is my wish to attain a full cup so that I can help to fill the cups of others.
Did you stood in the mirror this morning?
No, ma'am, I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna have to go dig my mirror out from Mount Balmuk back in the closet. I keep it back there all wrapped up, but I'll go get it out right now.
You can even use your reflection in your window, or even your reflection in on your car window, wherever you find your reflection.
Should I look in the mirror? Sorry, Rick. I should be looking in the mirror. And then
I was just going to say, someone mentioned you could use an iPhone as well, or some other phone to see your own picture in the camera.
Yeah, your selfie cam.
Well, I got to apologize, but sometimes I slip in and out of consciousness here at the East Coast time. And I heard you mention like confirming how I'm a beautiful person in the mirror. Is that about right? What I should be doing? A little direction on that, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go take care of that right now.
And hold on to it and repeat it several times a day to keep your cup full of your smile. Through your smile and your happiness, you keep your cup full. So there is no room for anything else to penetrate in it, as I explained to Flint yesterday. You keep your cup full with happiness. Anybody else? We have touched a lot of different levels today, haven't we, Rick?
Sure, you bet.
We have gone in a speed mode somehow.
More people are coming in with their hands up here. So Teresa and Andreas, I'll let you through into panelists and see what you have to say. I think it's Teresa. All right, Teresa. Teresa, would you like to go ahead?
Yes. Can you hear?
Yes, hello.
Yes, we can.
Hey, I just wanted to say that the plasma energy from personal experiences, I'm extremely spiritual in my experiences and curious as well with all that we can do with it. But its main purpose is to harmonize all of us and to show us how we can work together. So that comes from the plasma. I just wanted to let you know that that's its whole main purpose, and it loves every single one of us. So it is on a soul level. It really is. And I've had a lot of experiences. I'm just happy to see, and speaking with Zane as well, that he sees what it's almost like fireflies, but it's orbs. But these are beings that have a conscience. So it's the plasma that has a conscience. For me, it's a spirit. A lot of people call it chi, prana, shakti, but it's all the same thing. And that's the purpose, is to harmonize all of us and love and connect. And there is no such thing as time and space when it comes to it. It is the spirit of the universe and all universes. So I just wanted to let you know that. And it's amazing. I've felt it and been very curious with, you know, with all the religions from their experiences. And I took what I needed out of my own personal studies. And I've had a lot of experiences with it. And it's a beautiful, awesome thing. And it loves us so much and wants to give us what we desire and love, as long as it's in the greater good for all. It really has a purpose for us all to connect, and that's its main purpose. So, I mean, it is obvious, but I know that deep down. So I just wanted to let you guys know that.
Great, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. I'm just so happy to see all this happening and coming into fruition. I'm just very excited.
That's the type of souls we need, full of joy and happiness.
Oh my gosh. It's so much joy when you're connected. It's so much joy inside and out. You feel, when you're sad, you feel the comfort and the love. You really do. It's, if you're ever alone in life and you ever time to listen to your inner self, it's right inside of you. It's right inside of all of us. It's just a matter of us connecting with it. That's all. It's amazing.
As the lady said before you, she said it's like finding the activating point, the ignition.
Yeah. It's already there.
Of course, it's just peeling the shields off.
Yeah, just recognizing, and the more you connect personally, it is a personal thing, but the more you reach out, the more you keep connecting. Just follow your gut. That's where it really is, in your gut. It really is. It's like following your gut. But when you do that, and it's here to help us to recognize each other and ourselves as well, and to live in our fullest existence. And that's the whole purpose. And for us all to harmonize, that's all it ever wanted. Throughout all these years, thousands, if not longer, of years, that's all it's ever wanted. And that's for everybody, not just human beings. It's our first breath, too.
We're coming a long way. And we're
yes,
going
we
faster.
are.
And we're coming faster every day. We're going faster every day.
It's so awesome.
We can call it the roller coaster of life.
Yeah, I've learned to really fall in love, and I don't care what the connotation or the name or the label is. I know what it is inside of me, and that's what matters the most for all of us, is for us to know inside of ourselves and have our own personal connection with it, because it does have its own consciousness, but it also is a collective with all of ours as well. But its main purpose is to harmonize everybody. That is the main purpose. So that's everything that will follow us throughout all of our existence, even beyond this place, body, or anywhere we're at, anywhere in space, at any time. It will always be inside of you. That is your protection. So that it is my existence.
Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome. I'm so excited for everybody. I'm so excited for you guys. I just see it happening. I see the fields. They are going anti-clockwise. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of things happening, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it, and for us all to be a part of it, because existence really sucks without each other. It really does. It's no fun alone. It really is. It's better when you have others to share with. And that's the whole point.
That's a beautiful notice.
Yeah.
To enjoy.
We all help bring each other up when we're down. It's really everything to do. It has to do with everything. Everything. That's why we're here for each other. That's the whole purpose. And the more we connect and harmonize and stop saying, hey, you know, I made this first, whatever, the more we're happy that each other, that, you know, we're using each other's ideas and improving and even growing from there, and just keep continue. We're going to soar so much. And I mean, it's just forever. Our existence is forever, and we're going to live in the best atmosphere, the best environment in our existence forever. It doesn't stop. So as long as you don't want it to, and when you're happy in your existence, you really don't want it to. You enjoy every single day and every single lesson. And that's really where it comes from. It comes from the spirit. It comes from us. It comes from the spirit of the universe. It's the energy of the universe, but it also has a conscience. So whatever you want to call it, it is very real, and it's inside of every single one of us, and we're here to help each other and heal each other. And even those that are a copy of a copy can actually be activated, and it can really connect and harmonize and everything. And we really don't need chaos when this happens. So I just wanted to let you guys know that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thank you guys. I'm so excited. I don't do many videos because I'm really camera shy, but I'm just very happy that I've listened to a lot of you guys' videos, and you just keep up the good work. You guys are doing awesome.
Thank you for your statement. Thank you for your sharing.
You're welcome.
And we'll meet again.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Zane is so awesome, you guys. Zane's right on it. But I knew from the beginning he's right on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Who was in the back?
And Andreas, I believe, was wanting to speak here. So, is that right, Andreas?
Hi, Caroline. Hi, Rick. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
So, thank you for
it's
calling me.
It's from the boys.
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky guys who is with Stefania. And I would like to speed up the process a little bit today, even further, and give you a little break of talking, Caroline. Thank you for everything you share with us. Maybe some of you would like to see the world through my eyes. And for that, I put some pictures together. And is that okay if I share my screen?
I would say it's way more than okay. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So before we start, basically the main topic of this season or of this these days is peace, and I would like to probably make it more easy for some to actually apply peace, and you will see in the end it will be quite funny. Whatever I talk, basically I'm quite let's say like yesterday and today when we were speaking or hearing about the mirror. The mirror is let's say one of my closest friends, and there's a lot of information that you can gather within yourself, from yourself, by using the tool of the mirror. And I will come back to that very quickly. So we are always hearing this term of unity and oneness. So I was trying to understand what does it mean to be all together or being separate, which is the opposite of being one. So when everything or something is not actually as it should be for anybody of you, maybe it is separate and not in the same party with everybody else. So that means some change needs to happen. And I would like to show you a couple of examples between unity, oneness, and separation. And I'm using this black and white scheme here for making it as easy as possible, because when we start to try to imagine just one field, one big black, let's say it's black, for example, it can be white as well, but we take it black. So we have the space which is either empty or completely full. And so now from this unity going to separation basically means out of the dark is the light created. So we have on the one side the night, where the whole reality around us and probably within us in the night through dreams is completely different than the daytime, as it's pretty obvious even in the choosing of the colors and the letters. This polarity or this potential difference, we are quite familiar with these terms, goes on. So we are here on Earth, we are all in one way or another wishing to go to space, which is quite the opposite of being grounded on the Earth. So we have to become light and travel. And even in a bit older terms, heaven and hell symbolizes the separation of the oneness in two different things, which are basically the same, but they decided to be unconditionally loving each other by creating the illusion of two instead of being one. But as we can see, even the letters here use the background, which is their opposite, to be real or to be even seen. So even in separation, there is oneness that is pretty easy to see here. So through all the teachings of our dear friend Mr. Keshe, for me it rang a lot of times the bells that there is so much above or in space, the same as here on Earth. Basically, space is already next to you when you move, literally available. So this correlation of the duality or of the outside and the inside is getting, since a couple of weeks or since the first part of the motion program a couple of weeks ago, imminent. And when we go inside, there is even scientific fact that we have two brain sides, one male, the left one, and the right one is your female side. And everything from your throat down, back down, is basically crossed. So your left body side is the female side, and vice versa with the right side and the male side. So we contain all of it together, and the question now arises, when we have separation, is there movement as well? So can we go into something or travel? Because when we are one, we are basically together, right? So there is no need for movement. So when we try to symbolize again with the potential difference to going in, it is shown here as the black hole in the middle. Basically the hole that symbolizes always to go somewhere in something hidden or unobserved is basically not white and therefore not visible here. The opposite then again is coming from the center to going outwards. And again, outwards means nothing else to be united with the rest of the white, as you can see here. So the urge to become one, or even become one with the universe, this is can you hear me?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
There's something, a screen happened. Oh, yeah. So now when we merge together again the two potentials or the two polarities, and we still have the dynamic or the let's say we have the member, the flow or the change of dynamics or energy, basically motion. We have so motion and the potential difference merged together, which leads to this kind of hypnotic image here. Now, one image further will probably be more familiar with many of you. So this is nothing else than the 2D version that you just saw before in 3D now. So now we have an image of an attracting and magnetical 3D space reality understanding. So this is constantly flowing upwards and is going down again at the end, is coming back in to the center. So this picture alone resonates with me many times when Keshe is explaining the creation of the soul, the coming together of the two field forces, magnetical and gravitational. And I try to get a bit bigger picture since a couple of years of what is real and what am I, why I am here, and all those questions are together here, I think, topic in these weeks, and I hope I can give you with these images some relation to your outside world, and maybe more important, to go inside just in a second. So home basically is not only the earth, it's again, in a bigger picture, it's at least the moon. And now we again have the opposite two forces, one big, one small, one proton, one electron. It seems that there is always this relationship of magnetical and gravitational in every single idea that is available to us to see, to feel, to experience. And in a bigger picture, I don't want to go too far with this, but just saying that, again, we have some sort of movement. We have rings, we have participants, and they all work, it seems like, endlessly. And sometimes the realization or the resolution is right in front of you. You just have to be ready to see it, to be clean to receive it, or not being caught up in finding something else. Because this primal agreement of unconditional love, or here again symbolized with the yin and yang, so both opposite, which are basically one circle, coexist in peace, and they even penetrate each other, which is even more a state of allowance of relationship between two completely opposite. And when we now understand that every single cell or every single molecule is basically containing a little seed or a little soul or a sun or a star inside, we make it easier for us if we try to apply that first for all our body cells. That means that literally the communication between your soul, which is here, this orange dot in the middle of the head, is able to communicate through emotions, through feelings, basically the same. Most of it even through thinking, to every single cell in your body. So when we talk about becoming peaceful, basically first we have to make peace between the two oppositions here, the red and the blue, the male and the female within us. So starting with this is basically the peace agreement of, let's say, the complete two opposites in your body. Starting with this is causing at least peace in your mind, but even more benefits will occur because every single body cell will be in this state of joy, expression of happiness, plenty of energy, because it is sincerely welcomed and unconditionally there. So there is nobody judging or distracting or overloading someone with work. One example for work for your body. Imagine you smoke a cigarette, you drink a beer, you eat too spicy food, whatever is causing some sort of disturbance for you is causing a lot of stress for some cells in your body. So when we talk about chemtrails or smoking cigarettes, like from the ideology here, there is not really a difference to me when you can see what I mean by that. So making peace within yourself amongst your body cell brings you to oneness. Oneness means you feel your body complete as one universe, one nation, one planet, one vehicle, one car, you name it. Basically, it's a relationship between your soul and the heart. The mirror of the soul is basically in the matter state. So the top layer of your skin is the only matter state. Below, we enter plasma. Basically, the heart creates your body, and it is basically the symbolic falling in love from the soul to the proton of the heart in the gravitational center of the body. You saw these pictures?
Yes.
I'm not sure how many of you are still familiar with the term Lego or Lego from, I think they're from Norway, this plastic games for children.
Yeah, the building block.
Sure.
Exactly. So I use Lego in let's say in an understanding way of what is creation of matter. So let's say many different bricks or blocks around are building something bigger.
You're not very loud.
Okay, 1 second.
That's better.
Better?
Yes.
Okay. So why Lego? Because Lego makes for me things easy. Makes the let's say I would like to show you this picture. So when we think in Lego or in pixel, and pixel is maybe even easier for you to see. So the big picture, or the whole understanding how to speed up the process, is basically understanding where we are coming from, which is meaning we are going inside, and then we are able to reach out again in probably a changed way after we occurred to our center or our soul. And so I'm not speaking here from a position of I'm able of doing everything like balls and flying and everything. I'm in the same process as every one of you. For me, I would like to share with you these informations to, even if you have questions afterwards, feel free to join me on this way of becoming one, and that's what we are here for. And every idea, every perception can help us to go to the center. So Lego or the pixel makes things more, let's say, concrete or perceptive. Now, I would like to share, let's say, the wish or the dream I had before I started the motion program. I actually wanted to fly since like 5 years old, was drawing airplanes and so on. But it never happened. I'm short-sighted, and they don't like people like that in the space or in the air. And so since the teaching started, I was prepared to enter sooner or later like a magnificent big aircraft and fly around and, you know, do whatever you would like to, like in the movies, whatever, Aliens or Star Trek or Star Wars. Just fly around and be curious about where are we, why are we here. I mean, it's basically just a bigger picture to explore. And so what happened then through the 6 weeks was the very teaching of Mr. Keshe, and I'm very happy to got to understand the way of his teachings was for us quite different, I would say, compared to many of the knowledge seekers workshop. In terms of daily practice, this means he was not teaching us that much more, but he was teaching us to re-choice or re-question every single aspect of your life through his teaching. So it was basically irritation and the questioning of our own reality to start to see the filters that are disabling us to see the bigger picture. In short words, that means let go and become small and not going with any big aircraft carrier flying around. I can't say that I was disappointed. The potential did even increase. And so I would like to go now here a bit more practical again. And now when we know that the soul is in our brain and in the center of the brain, it basically is so small. I would like to invite you to imagine this image here, and the soul is one of these little squares all around here. The more we go to the left side, the oneness is more achieved through the elimination of borders or nations or whatever you call it. So left is peace and oneness, and on the right side is separation and probably scarcity, because when we are here in the orange zone, we are lacking of blue and white, so the distribution of the totality is not everywhere. But along this perception here, being one particle and understanding now through the plasma teaching of Mr. Keshe that every single thing, doesn't matter if it is a cell of your skin of your finger, if it is a part of your shoe, somewhere around you on a tree. Every single building block of Lego is basically a container of a soul and a joint venture or a marriage of the magnetical and the gravitational for me. So since we know that, every single pixel here or every single soul here is connected with every single other soul, which is obvious here. And now, since we want to fly or travel in space, there is an understanding or an option more to be able to travel. So we know that the electron is attracted due to the gravitational field force of the bigger object, which means every single little Lego or pixel here is or would be attracted gravitationally to this blue orb in the middle. So now we have to understand being one means we are basically in the essence all the same. We are all one pixel, like seen here. And if we wish now to travel over here, just around on, let's say, this whole screen with the colorful dots and whatever thing is on it, this is the whole of it, everything that is. So now coming from over here, probably traveling somewhere over here, would be basically just by understanding traveling here is basically impossible because the pixels are fixed. But now the impression that you get over here basically could be displayed exactly the same manner as over here on this one. So basically understanding traveling is tuning into the gravitational magnetical force over here, from over here, to be attracted from one second to the other to go over there. Now the funny thing is, it doesn't really matter if you travel there or not, as long as the information is seen over here. Basically there is no need for travel, but you can, of course, even imagine the travel, at least of the information or through the fields, by understanding the plasma technology. I'm not sure if I basically led you out more in space through all of these words and pixels, but I would like now to add the understanding or the, let's say, the benefit of the mirror. Speaking or watching yourself in the mirror is confirming or synchronizing your reality in that very moment. And in that very moment, when you watch yourself in the mirror, try to pay attention if you ever will or did or do matter the time when you watch yourself in the mirror. So for me, time really does not exist in the understanding as soon as I take the tool of the mirror to understand what is going on. So now, why actually using the mirror is, Caroline, you said it quite nicely, I think yesterday. There is no way that you could basically fool yourself or lie to yourself in the mirror. Is that right?
Yes, you cannot, because you look at your own reflection. You can dissect it, but you can confirm so much more to make it complete. And when you create the room of understanding what you're facing, which is you can start filling it up with joy and confirmation. I exist. I am beautiful. And so many other words which you can and will pass through your head what you need to say to confirm to yourself. Because this is the lack of understanding to confirm I am, I exist. It's one of the biggest problems which we had this afternoon with the lady not even be able to confirm she's proud of herself.
Exactly. So since we know that basically there is that one way of getting the truth through speaking or watching yourself in the mirror, I would like you to take this idea of watching yourself in the mirror like 24/7, all around the clock, even when you're in the night. So that means basically you start to perceive yourself in a 360 mode, you can say. So like you have a camera that is basically not basically you do it with your mind, but you start to become more aware what is all around you, and that basically is the same, that has to go hand in hand with you become aware what is going inside. So going inside, meeting the soul, there is one practice that I would like to share with you, maybe two, how I perceive, or if I do set myself to being connected more and more with my true self, because as I said, there is nothing easier and nothing more challenging than this job that all we are here doing, and we have to go step by step, and peace is one of the first steps to treat yourself as your own best friend, your own wife or husband, all together at the same time. So meaning that we have this awareness or this mirroring. We are basically, wherever we are thinking that there is a whole mirror around us, and everything that is happening basically is reflecting to us. And this is nothing else than being every day in the reality. Something is happening around us all the time. Sometimes we notice, sometimes we don't. But the more we become sensitive and go within, as I said, it will replicate in the outside, and we become more sensitive and receptive for smaller details, and even emotions of others. So the practice is as follows. When you basically, the question was about meditation. Meditation is, of course, one way to go. For many, they have different practice or exercises that they do in conjunction with meditation or yoga. But basically, every single way is good for it to basically apply what is in you in your daily life. So the practice is mirror your day by becoming aware of what is going around us, what is basically defining your day. How many hours do you spend doing this, that, and the others? And after a couple of days, I forgot, note your dreams in the morning when you wake up. And this will be quite interesting for you too. So every day, basically, you will see that there is some sort of progress or change, and all of this change. So basically, when you start to treat yourself well, when you smile in the mirror in the morning, when you don't work too much, when you don't eat too much, you will basically practicing the letting go of all the attachments and even behaviors, probably things that do not serve you well, like smoking, drinking, other excesses or sensations that we are all craving sometimes. So basically, maybe one more example is easier to understand about the mirror. Every single word that we speak It's basically coming from the soul, like the intention, the information, the wish to speak is coming from the soul. And when we already talk about the mirror is more real than we are aware of, because the first mirror is not the one in your bathroom. The first mirror is your body. So between the soul and your matter skin state, which is basically defining the body, this is the first mirror ever. And when you become aware of every single word and text or whatever that you're speaking to yourself, because you are creating the vibration in your throat, and you create the loop or the synchronicity with the hearing of your ears already. So when you listen to what you say in the best way, it is a mantra or a love letter to yourself, you start to feel your body different, and basically your body is reacting to what is heard. And that is what I was meaning with treating yourself good, do less of the bad, let go of the things that are not really necessary and causing you maybe headache or stress. And through this letting go, we are getting more and more into that state of happiness and joy. And when you can apply this happiness and joy to all your body cells physically, then you will be able to collect or to gather the souls within the heart. And when you do that, and when you let go, there is only one direction that you can go after you have been on the earth. So I think that's it for the moment. I hope I didn't put some of you to sleep. Yeah, if there is anything that you would like to add or ask, I'm here and now I'm present. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And for sure, you have not put us to sleep. Don't worry. Because we still carry the smile from the mirror image from this morning. Because to a lot, if they have practiced it, it's a very strange sensation of confirmation, but it's a pleasurable one. And every time we bring the subject up, it brings the memory back. So you have to keep on tapping into your memory bank. And these are the first initial steps to confirm I exist, but in the right way. And you just expand on fields of understanding in a different way, inside more scientific way, to dig or find the road. As we said, each path which comes forward is at the right time, at the right energy level for inspiring other people to walk maybe a different way of coming to the same point of understanding as all of us. We will be a big concerto in the future. Thank you so much for sharing. That was one person from the motions, as Stefania brought in. So if anybody has any questions, there you go.
Yes, I have a question. This is Gatwa. I have a question for Andreas. First of all, thank you very much, Andreas, for your teaching. Now my question is, when you say you gather all the cells, all the souls within the heart and let go, what exactly do you mean by let go?
Hi, Gatwa. Thank you for your question. It's quite a heavy one, to be honest. I mean, it is as heavy as you want it to be, or as light you want it to be. What I want to say is, it is sensitive in let's say history, because letting go means you remember the image with all the pixels.
Yes, I do.
So imagine imagine yourself on a picture, and now you cut yourself in Photoshop out, so just your body, and you put it on this pixel resolution. So you end up as a bag of pixels, right?
Correct.
So now basically what you do as this pixel man, you collect the essence or the particles of the pixels, the souls of every cell in you, to your heart. And that basically means you leave most of the pixels on the screen. Basically, you don't leave them, you basically pack together your stuff and leave. It's not that you leave forever, it's basically you just become mobile. It's more the accurate expression. So basically you become one of the pixels, which is the one in the middle of your brain, the soul. And from there you have basically less than no resistance to go anywhere. As Keshe said, you travel even faster than the light, or you are able to travel through dimensions. And I can give you many examples of what means letting go, but basically that's it. You have to let go of all the parts, if it's even physical, if it's emotional, if it's an attachment, which is basically or can be a mix of physical objects or matter and emotion, which leads to the fourth the behavior, which is basically the application of whatever is to your enjoyment. And of course the thoughts and the information or voices, or however you want to call it, in your mind. So everything that is making you ready to be in this environment is here for you to be here, because you chose to come here, and because you love to be here. And this is the only reason for me to what I found. If I wouldn't have liked to come here, I wouldn't have come here. It's that easy. So letting go is therefore not easy per se, because when you truly love to be here on the planet, on Mother Earth, and be in, let's say, be in touch, but not physically in touch, but you know what I mean, be in touch with all what is happening, and you're basically in peace. There is not much reason to fly around, but flying was always something that was in my dreams or in my wish list and in my imagination. Now the day is here, and now we know what to do basically, and now it's just the questions: are we ready or not? And the more I could motivate or basically ask you all to join us, the Motions, Mr. Keshe, and the whole movement, the sooner we all get there. And the beauty of it is, it's not something that we have to be afraid of, because we basically did it reverse already. So from becoming or being a child to today, it's just the process reversed. And now Mr. Keshe is just asking us to comprehend the whole picture and apply both of the potentialities to the here and now, which brings you to the capability through unconditional love to create completely without any restriction, as long as you are in peace and so on, in let's say in harmony with the universe and the planet, of course. So letting go is a hard topic. Letting go is when you smoke like me, it's there's a start. When you like sex, this is another thing, because every sensation is basically like an anchor to be here and now on this planet, because when you are the light, when you are the electron in somewhere around the moon, which would be quite a nice view, and I'm looking forward to it. But letting go is not really urgent all the time, as long as you deny yourself the actually enjoying the potential, which on the way to becoming the light, there is so much letting go, which affects you actually even in the positive way. So becoming lighter or the light will bring you the possibility to heal yourself. And this is nothing else than create, let's say, the better version of you again. So the key element here is to not to fear, but to trust that we came from the source and we go back to the source, or let's say we undress our clothes of the physical body and we are again as it was before, and everything was and is always fine. So it's a choice that everybody has to do by themselves, but we are not alone anymore. We are all together here, and so try to start, let go slowly, but persevere and trust that there is your inner voice. If your inner voice is completely saying something else, then do something else. But if you can hear inner voice, and when you are in peace, when you marry your male side as a woman or vice versa, this is one way to start with, and you will see how the world is changing. Because every time you walk in public, there is only the two options: either you see another man, which is basically mirroring you in quite a direct way, or there is the female, which is also mirroring you in a direct way. But when you are as a man, you have to be balanced to be equal or just or fair to each other. But you will see it will balance again in your mirror in the society, and it will reflect back to you when you are balanced.
Okay, thank you very much. But I'm left wondering whether when you let go, you can, wherever you go, could you come back at any time, or what happens thereafter?
This is actually, this was my primal fear in the beginning, in the 6 weeks. And I can tell you it was not very easy, because when you start to realize that, let's say somewhere between, I don't know, 98 and 99% of all you have been taught so far is basically completely upside down. Of course, leaving or going away, flying somewhere to another galaxy or planet or whatever, it basically, it forces you to face this fear. And I think it's good that you have this question for yourself, and the sooner you basically confront yourself with what would be so wrong. I mean, what helps me is in relation of time. Just imagine yourself in 500 years. By the usual mindset, this would be a foolish question, because nobody's going to talk about you again in 500 years, except you're still around. And so why not taking this pixel image or imagine a TV screen, and every pixel on it is the whole, all there is, and you are one single pixel. And when you are with your body, you're basically maybe 5 pixels. And now imagine what would be so worrisome or fearful when you let go of the 4, because you're still there. So basically coming back and going forth again, this is not a question if, but when. I mean, if you're not getting hooked up like 200 years somewhere else, I think you will be enjoying your time over here as much as everybody everywhere else, depending on your wish to be a part of and to serve, because to serve, to have a purpose, to be basically part of the one that is habitating this planet. This will always be the same quest wherever you go. So I think you will find your answer here or there. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Andreas.
You're welcome.
Anybody else who wants to share or ask questions, please?
So
I'd like to share my opinion on the. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I was just going to say, it seems like we're the plasmatic field between the Earth and the Sun is changing. I had some experiences where I was dizzy, or I had to work harder to stay positive. Is this true? Is it going to help us to understand all this?
I would like to give you an answer. I'm not sure if you like it, but I'm going to risk it because I'm not in any bad intent to. So what you were saying, basically, the relationship between the sun and the earth, that the magnetic fields or the waves changed, right?
Yes.
So I would say this is quite normal. And if we apply this already for your own creation, it would mean that the sun is your soul and the earth is the heart. And so, as I was saying, just when we put some mirrors, what you just said, around you before you say it, we would see that you were speaking about the relationship of your inner sun and the heart of yours, because you were speaking it as an idea, but basically you meant it as well for yourself because of the mirror. So I think that you are as well changing as everybody else. And I had a couple of intense weeks recently, emotionally actually, and so there is something going on that we don't need to explain, but adjust and be flexible to basically be open and unconditional. It will guide wherever we go or are. I just maybe to clarify, I just apply what, let's say, in the state of now, I can't basically give you honestly an answer. I mean, if the sun is doing what it's doing and the earth is doing what it's doing, let's say this is I don't have an opinion or a mind. They can do what they want as long as they don't burn or whatever, shake me too much. But the intent or the information in your question is basically what you answer yourself by putting the question out. So when you speak to the mirror, the question reflects back, and this is something that helps me quite a lot of time when I have a question or don't know what to do. When I speak out the question and listening to it consciously, there is always at least a little piece of the answer flowing somewhere around. And the more you get used to this practice, the more you will see that when you're basically content of everything, when you are one, the question, where does it come from? It comes from the same stock where the answer is living, So this is what Keshe is talking about, the trust in ourselves. When we listen to ourselves, when we are courageous enough to speak our mind, when we walk our talk, when we apply what we know, what we love to do, there is no misguidance or wrongdoing in this. This is the path to do, and it's basically what is in resonance or within agreement with all your body. So your body will reflect first, or your voice will basically make you feel. I'm not sure if you, maybe this is going a bit fast or far, but there is this guy from Japan. He throws some water droplets when he was playing music, and from there, basically, when you speak with your voice, you're creating this vibration in the blood cells or in the liquid that is around your throat. So there is nothing else than let's say having like an impact of the cause of the intent to want to speak. So when we are aware of what we are speaking, and now coming back to the sun and the earth, you know, when we see that that in every single plasma is a soul, so there is in an elephant or in dinosaur is also a soul, which means in every single thing coming from the plasma, it's all the same. Means the sun and the earth is for me your soul and the heart. And can you see what I mean?
It sounds like you're saying that what's coming is unexplainable, but we need to trust in our soul and to put the little pieces together and to enjoy the soul of the sun and the earth and everything.
Anyway, if I understand, correct me. The explanation, as I understood, is we as humanity have started igniting the change. Earth is already responding to our change of our inner magnetic field. So with our changing through our individuality, through the knowledge we have received, we have changed our energy levels. So automatically the Earth, which is part of us, has changed her gravitational field. And then because her repositioning, the sun also repositions itself. So the flares or the fields have to respond to the repositioning of each single part in every single individual. So because we are interconnected, we are all part of this one. As one moves, as Mr. Keshe says, the rest of the totality moves as well. But you have to trust that the move is into a progress, is into a level of a different understanding, a different development, whatever name you want to put on it, but it's a change of position. Because you thinking has changed with what, let's say, today you received or understood. You already are interconnecting with all the other connections, so the whole plates move. Doesn't matter which position they are, we are all interacting with each other, so we are repositioning ourselves. So that's why in the peace process, the more souls we can reposition into the creation of what we want to create, everything else will follow this repositioning because we are all connected. Is that correct?
So we have opportunity to create love.
It's not an opportunity. It's a confirmation that you are love.
That is what I meant to be. So why should we go somewhere else when we like it here? Because we came here because we wanted to be here, because we would love to be here. And now since we are here, the question of why or how we should apply love is quite fascinating on one term, but basically it's the essence of what we have, let's say, misled, or you know, I like the term of education, because from let's say 50% truth and 50% adjustment of the Latin translation of ex ducere means to lead someone outside. So now we have another proof of what's going on. We have so much learned, which led us from our source away. This is basically the truth for me, and everything that I've been or am still attached to is more of a hindrance than of a release. And so the more you are attached to, the harder it is to basically let go. But it's just a question of trust. The more trust you have in yourself, will basically unlock your potential more and more. And maybe there are two finally practical examples of exercises that I'm doing since a couple of days, and maybe you would like to do it as well. So one is, since we know that the plasmatic fields, or the oxides that we are able to produce, are basically flowing or flying all around us. So would it be so crazy to try to, let's say, if our body is just a close one piece, to hang it up on the ropes of the plasma, meaning get so much oxygen in your body that you will feel the connection in tingling or whatever, quite like exploding sensation in every single body cells, because they're saturated or oversaturated with oxygen, and the lightness that is happening there. So basically you breathe in, breathe out, let's say 10, 20, 30 times, very deep in and very deep out. So just that it's comfortable for you, and then see how you feel, and see if you can travel with your sensation over your body, and let's say visit different spots, and try to intensify the feeling on some spots when you do that. Because literally what has to happen in this, since we are coming from the field, by connecting through the oxygen, for me this is almost visual happening, that you hang yourself, or you hang all the plasmatic fields in yourself into the environment, you can say it. And this is actually the sensation that happens in the beginning when you start to feel lighter. Maybe the more, to balance this out, the darker experience is take a shower of, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes. I always forget the time when I'm taking a shower. So, and then you just, in the end, you turn the shower to cold. And the only thing that you do then is you try to love the water the same way as before, because it's just another temperature, but the water is the same. And see what happens. It was quite funny today.
Okay, I'm thinking we should try to wrap up here soon. Hello? Is that Gatswa?
Yes, I had a question about breathing deep in and deep out. Can you breathe in and out in a way that we can hear in and out, or explain further, because that may not mean a lot to some of us.
Okay, there's no specific rule here. This is coming from, we had it a couple of months ago when someone talked about the Iceman. He's proposing these. I just go YouTube Iceman, and you will find the guy who is going with you through a more detailed step. But I don't think it's really necessary as long as you are able to find yourself comfortable and basically relaxing and breathing consciously over a longer period of time, so that you can just cool down. So meaning you breathe in, I don't know, between 5 and 10 seconds in, and then you let it out again the same time. So just make what you like to do. So it's basically practicing love. You can do the same with exercises. When you probably push-ups, don't do them on the floor, but do them on the wall, and you will start to feel the gravitational weight or attraction different than when you do the exercise on the floor. So it's breathing means getting more oxygen into your body. And when you want to go deeper and deeper in this, you have 2 lung sides, and you have 2 nostrils, and they're both again crossed. So your left nostril is supplying the right lung, and vice versa. So meaning try to play when you just breathe through one nose, in and out. So this is going into, I think it's called pranayama, but just try to, let's say, forget about everything else around you and just focus on the breathing, because the breathing is one of 3 positions, and the third player is your heart. So I don't want to tell you too much about it now, but
Andreas, this is Stefania. We can share the exercise with Gatwa, the one that we did with Keshe, about the breathing. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, yeah, no, I was talking with Andreas. Is my voice okay? Because, is it okay, my voice? Or is too loud? Yeah, no problem. There was an exercise we done on the breathing, because that Keshe showed us the last day, and because what he also suggests, adding to what Andreas just explained, that when you hold the breath, you let the fields come into your body. So it's like when we were before born, and we were in our mother's stomach, and we were get feeding from the fields. We were not breathing. We were in the liquid, but we were not breathing. So when you don't breathe, when you hold the breath, you allowed your body to get the fields from the environment. And the aim is to, as you probably, most of you know, that we get in 80% of the food from the environment through the fields, and 20% only from food. Keshe told that we don't need to breathe, we don't need to drink either, that we can create everything that we need from our fields within. And one practice he make us do, and this was the only exercise that Keshe shared with us. It was going like this. You have to, if you want, you can do it now. Actually, no, not now, because you need a timer. So you take a phone with a timer, and you reset to 0, and then you breathe in deeply, breathe out deeply, and then you breathe in again, and you hold the breath. and you, with the timer, you get in the how long you hold the breath, and then you keep the breath as much as you can. Before you get too uncomfortable, you let it go. And then you do like Andrea said, you close one nostril, starting with the left nostril. You close the left nostril with a finger, and again you breathe in, and you breathe in. Then you start up your timer, and you hold again the time, and you do the same process. You hold until you can, and without being uncomfortable, and then you let go again, and then you write the timer again, the time you've done, and then you do the same process with the other nostril. So this was the whole exercise. My assumption on this was that it was also an exercise where you use your breathing to gain more fields, get your body used to get fields into your body. And also another thing's interesting, actually Armen told me, was that depending in which position, you can change your position of your body, the way you sit, the way you stand, the way you lie down, you change it, and you hold the breath again in that position. And because you change the position of your body, you change the intensity of the fields that you absorbed. So you can choose which fields you want by changing the position of the body. And my assumption was that if you then you try many variation of position, you may, this is my assumption, you may absorb many variation of intensity of fields. So this is something you can practice.
Thank you very much, Stefania.
Also, the point, sorry.
Welcome.
Also, the point by using the right and then switching to the left side of your nostril is for you to balance your body. That you not only breathe, as you know, there is a right part and there is a left part of your body. So because you do the switching between the two, you make sure that each part gets the same field of energy. You go from right to left, from left to right. So you keep on switching. This is to make sure that the body stays in balance.
Yes.
Can I come in here?
Sorry.
Sorry about that. Can I interrupt? The long work on a given cycle, doesn't matter which nostril you try to force it, the efficiency of the long is 1 hour on its own. You change the nostril, does not make much difference, because the nostril which is adjusted for the long works and does the operation. But with the teaching we've done up to now, we're gone a step further beyond this in the past couple of weeks. If you are controlling your breathing to change the rate of the heart or to change the absorption of the energy for the elevation of the soul, with what we have taught, it should be understood, it should have been much easier to be able to absorb energy through the thoughts to the soul of the man. Everything you're doing, you're still going back to the mechanical system, to the matter state. You're using the matter state. As I said, I taught step by step to go to the next step up and the next step. Now with what we taught, if those of you who have managed to understand and move up one step, is that you can concentrate with the soul and absorb the energy. You don't need the breathing. In the space you don't have lungs. In the space you don't have operation of most of the heart system the way we know it. So the breathing is an entrance for those who are trying to find a dimension that they can work in. But if those of you who have gone understood this, that this is the only purpose we do it, to be able to absorb energy from the environment through our lung to direct it, in a space we don't have lung, what are we going to do? We have to go to the next step in understanding that within the will and the wish of us, we can absorb energy, elevate the soul, or change the rate of the absorption as we want through our soul, through our eyes, through our observation of wanting to give. If anyone understands in what I speak, then you can elevate any soul. You can change the whole condition. You can absorb any energy. You don't need the breathing system. This is not to say the breathing system is not needed, but if we go in the path to go one step further, absorption of the energy through the brain of the man, through the emotion of the brain, is so intense that you do not even need to concentrate on breathing. Try it. If you are happy with to use the lung system to change the rhythm, it's like using an intermediary. And this is exactly what, if we can go to the next step, will give us, allow us, elevate our soul where we can do. The moment we feel not good, the moment we feel we need, we can go to ourselves and absorb. Even with hunger, even with um, extension of the shelter, you see something very strange. If some of you ever walked into a rainy condition and could observe, some people don't get the rain on them. It's a very, very strange. Very few times you see this. I'll show you one day how to do it. It's the same thing as you create the atmosphere around you. You create a condition that my body doesn't need what is coming. It can walk is the extension of the aura in a strength.
You're breaking up, Mr. Keshe. Yep.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you're back.
Yep.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Hello.
You were
Hello, Mr.
fading.
Keshe. Can you hear us?
Yes. Something happened.
Okay.
I mean, you the thing, it just flipped out. So if we go through the cycle of understanding, we can bypass this intermediary, what we call the lung of the man. This is why we use the lung to absorb energy, that the energy absorbed can be converted in a way to be able to feed energy to the soul of the man. And if we go to the next step, we will understand can be done much easier. But it needs a lot of understanding and a lot of, it takes at the beginning a lot of energy. You feel more exhausted than what you absorb. But over the time, it changes. Over the time, it progresses to the point that you don't need to do. You learn and you do it automatically. And this is part of the whole teaching. This is part of understanding, do we need to feed, or do we use the absorption of the energy not only for the revelation of the soul, but we absorb, we decide what we absorb, that it becomes the physicality. So through our school of thought, through our understanding of the energy, the way Stefania was telling us that you move to one direction or one way, you absorb different energies. You decide by emotion what energies you need and what you want to absorb and what you want to give. So you use your emotion as a method of absorbing and feeding. You use what does anger do? It takes energy from you. So the emotion of anger, it means taking a lot of energy. It means it creates gravitational. What does joy do? It giving. The loving is giving. So you can adjust through, and it becomes a second nature, through the emotion to control the energy absorption. A lot of these things I teach at this moment is not understood. Very few people will pick it up. And then if you can do that, you can see more. We call it rage when you get angry. What is rage? We say, I can't see anymore. My eye went black. I can't control. Why? It means the fields have interfered. The fields are extension too. So we have to learn slowly to use our emotion as a means, as a way of feeding. But the emotion has to be subtle. Emotion has to be very subtle that you can do it. It cannot pass a point. It's like overloading. It does not get absorbed. When you move to one direction or another, the energy absorbed, it creates energy for muscle. The other one is for the lung. The other one is for bones. The other one is for lymph. So we continuously, with our movement, we guarantee life. We guarantee existence. And we can do it through our soul, because the soul is the feeder of the physicality, is the creator dimension of the existence of us as a real entity. So these things we have to learn. We have to become progressive to go to the next step. This is why I teach very rapidly from one to another in the past few months. Because by the time I've noticed we stick to the Ganses and things and people settle down, they don't, to move them to the next step is very hard. But now that we understood the plasma fields, not a plasma liquid or liquid or plasma, now we're going to the ultimate more or less, then we understand there is a dimension easier. The stage after the field plasma is the field itself. Man has not managed to conquer and does not even understand this. You absorb selective rays, you give selective rays, where then the interaction of the rays you select decide the purity of the creation of the plasma and the creation of the soul itself. Rays of the fields are the essence of the creation in the dimension of the creation. When you talk now about the fields of plasma, is already a mixture, I accept. But when you live at the field of the ray of the plasma, then you dictate what ray. Then you become the creator of your own soul. Creator of the dimension of the soul, the strength of the soul. Then you don't accept fields, but you become more mature, more in line with the line of the creation. That I need this ray for this purpose in the soul, that the ray of the interaction of it with another ray creates the emotion. So you go to the essence of the creation. Read my paper. I've referred to it in a very hidden way. A unified field theory. In there, I have explained in a very secret way the essence of the creation, the essence of the creator, the origin of the origin. This is where we have to go. This is when the man matures. We were happy with the food. Now we're happy with the plasma of the liquid. Now we understand we can do with the plasma of the fields. fields on their own, and now we understand the rays, the origin, where itself by itself leads to the creation of totality. So now that you speak about essence of breathing, try to go one step further. Why do you do the breathing? What's the purpose of it? What's the reason we do the breathing? We breathe to create, to absorb a collection of fields that with it we create, we allow surplus or a given strength to go to the soul, that elevates the soul, that with the soul that we can exist. That part of it becomes food of our soul, part of it becomes the food of our brain, that becomes a condition of our physicality. But if you go a step further, now try to absorb the field. This is my need. This is what will make me happy to exist. And then you understand, you reach a new level. And then in the future, when man understands, you go to the essence of the ray. And then is the origin of the ray, where you start. And then that comes with the essence of the creation itself.
Mr. Keshe, I have a question, please.
I'm going to read you, they put the paper on. It says the abstract. In this paper, the origin of electromagnetic field, the electromagnetism, and how they are created within the existence of the other magnetic fields are simply explained. Which means the origin of the creation, the origin of the rays, the origin which comes in essence itself. It's like a black hole. At the end of the black hole, only one strength. It's like a laser. It's mono. And that mono has a full spectrum of the fields of the strength of the universe, which is motion, creates the essence of the creation and beginning of the universe. That is creator. This is what the essence is. And if you understand this, we can go into the next step of creation. And this is where a lot of people have not managed to explain how and where the creation comes from. It's the first time we explain. You were happy with the plasma, and go back to the very one of the original videos which was made. The fields come. The interaction of the fields creates the plasma. And then the slowdowning of the field of the plasma creates the matter state. But nobody ever asks, where is that ray comes? We have a video somewhere in the background where we show the rays come and then they turn into. We are happy because the rays are there. Now the question is, where those rays comes from, that they lead to the creation of the plasma. And which ray comes from the origin, from the what are called the creator. There are many fields in the universe, but when you receive the original ray, which is from the creator, it becomes the essence and the beginning of the seed that the other rays come to join. This is the truth. This is what stands in the line of the creation. And then the question comes, where does that spot comes from? And in essence, that spot, as the totality of itself, is the totality of the universe. This is the way, this is the exact video. We look at the videos, they come together, but we never ask, what is the origin of this? Where did it start? Why all these fields in the universe don't create a plasma, but some do? This is what the reality is. This is how we have to understand. And then if we become the messengers of creator, what we call the origin, then we find the ray. And then If we look within ourselves, we find the Creator.
Can I say something, Mr. Keshe?
Yes, please.
Is it like the matter is in 3 stages? Also the plasma and also the field in 3 stages coming?
No, plasma is the essence that, according to the point of observation, manifests itself in that dimension. The fields do not, in so many ways, become entity of themselves, but they lead to the creation of entity.
For the creation, you need male and female, and also in the plasma, you need 2 fields. So
No,
does that mean
no, there is no such
to there's no like what I mean?
Let me explain to you something very interesting. And this closes the circle of the creation. Rick, go with this video very, very slow. Very, very slow. Slow, step by step, step by step. When I tell you stop, stop. Carry on. Carry on. Carry on. Very, very slow. Stop. Stop. Can you stop? Go back a bit. It's getting in the line of people. Go back just a few steps. That's it. Stop there. You see, this ray itself is a fulfillment of itself.
Mr. Keshe, it's hard to hear your voice there. His microphone's fading.
This ray is the fulfillment of itself. The back and the front are of the different strength. And in the process of the front, which is leading in creating a strength is of the same as the back and the opposite, it encircles itself to itself. It becomes the plasma. The dimension, this is how the stars are created, this is how planets are created in a rotation direction. It's not that other fields, the mother, the origin, the field which has the strength that the front loses enough rapidly that in the strength it becomes of equal to the back, then it turns back on itself like a snake and becomes the start of the creation of the plasma. You do not need male or female. You need interference or interaction between the different strengths of it. There has never been Eve and there has never been Adam. It's one. If you understand the process, what you see as a tail to become the other, itself become the tail of itself because it carries a spectral field.
So could this animation be done with just one ray intertwining with itself, or does it take 2 to tangle?
Of course, one is enough. If you look in all the drawings I draw, there's only one. Now you understand. And it says, if you look, it goes back down to itself and it comes, the gravitational gives to the magnetical. So the beginning becomes the end. I am the beginning, I am the end. So in so many ways, create spectrum.
Sorry, go ahead.
Carry on.
I was going to say, so in this video, like we see there's multiple rays to start with, and kind of the idea is that these rays start to sort of become aware or influenced by each other somewhat here. We see them bend
Yes.
sort of toward each other, but they don't have to. It could be one individual ray doing that, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a space, we don't need a female to regenerate conformation of the existence. If in the book number 3, I have drawn it very nicely, but nobody ever understood. Maybe we can expand on it a little bit. There's a picture of the spiral with the curls on it. Some of these curls have the center, now we understand, that are equal to the strength of the beginning. But as they've lost more, they're trying to join, they bring the ray to itself. Life can be completed in one cycle. Now you understand. There is no need for man, or there is no need for woman. There is no need to understand any more than that. But when you go down to the essence of the creation, it completes itself. Sorry about that. I have to go. I just came in to listen, and I listened to 2 of the very nice students. And they've been taught how to use the breathing, but now this is the next step on. They call it level 3, level 4. Then this is the level of creation. Try to absorb energy by bypassing. Now you learn that the lungs gives the energy, you can control it, the fields, and then those fields affects your soul. Now that you know, bypass the mechanical system. Absorb energy to your soul. This is what I need to give, not this is what I need to want. And then you find out every energy you need will be given. You have to go through stage by stages. The evolution of understanding of the knowledge in past 3 years with all the people who listen and follow the foundation work is faster than 6,000-10,000 years man ever tried to understand the existence of the matter. What you learn, especially in past few months, we teach in millions of years in space. But because of what we have to go fast. And now you understand. Now we get to the origin, which is the ray. Unified field theory. It means only one. Wahed, we call it in Arabic. In Arabic they say Allahu Wahad, Allahu Samad. It's only one. And it doesn't refer to God. It refers to the origin. It's only one ray.
Thank
you very much. I have to go. Talk to you tomorrow. We'll see what we can learn more.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Keshe, that is also home.
Pardon me?
No, I just wanted to say also that one is home. The one ray, to go back to the question of Gatwa on letting go, and you always go back home. I don't know if it was clear.
Thank you very much, Stephanie, but we may have to revisit this soon, tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, let's pick it up again tomorrow. That's a good entry point, perhaps, for tomorrow's
Yes,
teaching.
no problem. No problem.
the ray we need is the one that joins.
Nice to see Andreas. To hear from Andreas.
Bye.
Yeah, it was
Bye.
excellent. Thank you, both Mojans today. We're fortunate to be blessed with your presence.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ciao.
Okay, I think we should wrap it up for today. It's been great. And thank you all very much. And once again, I remind people we'll have another session tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m. Central European Time. And it's Blueprint for Peace for Humanity. Today is day 15 afternoon session for Tuesday, July 25th, 2017. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. And we'll end the live stream now and see you all tomorrow.
Thank you, Rick. Good evening, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all. Oh.